Hello, everybody, and welcome back to today's live stream. If you haven't been checking out what's been going on this week of the other weeks, this week is based and is all towards my first paying customer. Hopefully he will join the chat today. But if you don't know who he is, his name is Richard Nutt over on TikTok. He's just joined chat there now, but on a YouTube, his name in chat there is the Sir Pineapple First. He says hello, and I say hello back. Today we're going to be getting on with some more illustration, but if you don't know who I am, what I am, or where I am, or what I'm doing, my name is Blut084, BLUT084 Art and Games. I do illustrations, polymer clay artwork of this. There's one for you there, Mr. Pineapple Man. I'll show you again what they look like, but I have already sent you a picture. Yeah, I will be finishing the illustration today, but I'll be using my new Copic markers. If you don't know what Copic markers are, they are a alcohol-based marker pen. It's very similar to like a felt tip, but with the felt tip they use like ink, and it's more of a saturation, whereas this you can saturate and put loads and loads of layers on, because add shading and things like that. So what I'm going to be aiming to do today is aiming to see what I can really do with these, because this is the first time I'll be using these as well. Normally I would use, I've used Copic markers before, but only the brush pens, and these are the double-sided pens. Copic marker basically means they're made with an alcohol rub-based ink. You got a fine tip there. They're not flexible, which I'm going to be kind of like, okay, it's fine. It's basically a felt tip end there. But there you've got more of a chunk and more a direct line, or if you want to get a bit more coverage, that'll be used for that. That kind of looks like a lipstick. I'm not being funny, but yeah, these are Copic markers. They're alcohol based. So, they're safe enough for children. As long as they're not very young children, I think you'd be fine if you wanted to get your own. I found these over on Amazon.com, like I find most of my pens and most of my art stuff. From polymer clay, from paper, from this book, to the pens, to the polymer clay that I use, to pretty much everything I use, even these paintbrushes, which I'll be using to paint the polymer clay with. I'm not sure if I'm going to record that, or if I'm going to, because I've already recorded the other two creations that Mr. Pineapple Man wants me to draw. Sorry, not draw, I'm thinking about paper. They wanted me to make. They're already made. So let's quickly show you what I've made. I'll give you a little bit of a hello by WhatsApp. But yeah, there's the two creations. He asked me to make for his son 2 polymer clay creations for his son, and they were his Roblox characters. Those still need to be baked and painted, but hopefully you do like them, mate. And like I say, if there's anything you want to change, now is the time to tell me, because I will be baking these, and once they're baked, I can't reform them. I can't do anything else to them, because they'll be completely hard. That's why I've left them soft as they are, because I've still got to make the Pineapple Man. But if you don't know which Pineapple Man that we've been drawing, let's move these pens out of the way a little, and open this book up. Again, this is the first page that I've been using. This page here is just a splot page, and I didn't do anything with that. That's just a splot page you get. But what we drew. Oh, I've just had my dinner, so I'm a bit burpy. Apologise. What we drew was a Pineapple Man. He needed, and Mr. Pineapple Man in chat there, he said that's something he wanted. I'm also going to be making him a Pineapple Man in this design. It's very similar to the way I've made other things. It won't be as chunky as their Roblox, because I want to make him nice and lean and in his suit like he's wearing here. Yeah, like I said, we inked all of this, we sketched all of this, and in the sketch, we chose the colours. What each part of him would be wearing, even to the background. And that's what I'm going to be aiming to get the colours as close as I can, because I may have the colours, I may not have all the colours. Like cappuccino is a brown, but do I have an actual cappuccino-esque colour? I mean, that's fairly cappuccino-esque. It's brown grey, but anyway. But yeah, well, we'll see what colours I've got. But yeah, we're going to be making one of those. That'll be either because because it's Thursday tomorrow. It's Thursday tomorrow. This one here is going to take me a little bit longer than the Roblox one, so I'm not sure if I should do it on camera or off camera. I'll sort of decide this evening what I'll be doing and let everybody know over on TikTok and over on Instagram. If you don't know how to find me over there, that it is in chat today. So if you want to find me, you can find me and Mr. Nutt over there, or Richard Nutt over there, so you can check out our TikToks. But yeah, we've got to get on with this. So, Mr. Pineapple Man, I'm going to ask you what you want for me to listen to in the background. Do you want me to keep the theme of the videos already and listen to some more of the Green Lantern? Or is there another comic that you want me to listen to? I'm going to listen to some comic storying today because I want a bit more of an uplifting thing so I can get more flourish and get some colour into it. Because I know that Comics Explained generally is what it's saying is he explains the comic, where it's Comic Explain explains the comics, what's a mythos, why it's happening, how it's happening, what happened previously, what's going to happen in the future. Where a comic historian takes you through the comic and reads it almost like a bedtime story, but more of a theatrical reading of the book. So yeah, Mr. Pineapple Man has chosen himself. He wants Thor. If you're a fan of Thor, you may be a fan of these. If you want to check out how I made these, or if you want one of these for yourself, bud, then all you got to do, again, is let me know in the channels that you've been talking to me. I have made quite a few of these, and all of my hammers are magnetic, so they will stick to anything that you want to put them on. I've got a range of them, from small to size. Some of them are golden, some of them are silver like this, but like I said, they're all magnetic. And they all come with a little handle. This is just my prototype. But the rest are all sticking on my fridge. Again, I can't show you, but I think I have sent you some pictures. But you said Thor, so let's find ourselves a Thor comic quickly. So we were listening to
SNT 110.
That's nice. We were listening to Green Lantern. If you want to listen to Green Lantern again, we were listening it on Comics Explained. But let's find Comic Explained, that's who they are. Let's find some comic. I was listening to a good Thor story yesterday while I was doing my bits and bobs. Okay. Do you have a particular... hello, Abigail. Artemis, because she's changed her name. Artemis Craft, because you changed your name from Abigail to Artemis Craft. So hello. Okay, Mr. Pineapple Man, have you got a particular story that you like to listen to, or you've got a comic you like reading that you want read to you? I'm pretty sure it's in here. Name the story. Other words. Thor versus Hulk, Unworthy Thor, The God Butcher, the Thor, End of the World, Mighty Thor, Gentle Iron Hammer. I mean, there's absolutely loads. So if you want to... Oh, I know what's going on. I got to close that, guys. Yeah, I can't show you that because YouTube has decided that it's going to... YouTube's really finicky. If you show comic pages and other things like that, it sort of has problems. I may lose connection today. If it does do that, bud, I'm still recording. So everything I do, what I might do if the PC decides it's going to be a pain in the bum, what I might do is go over to Instagram or TikTok and live stream it over there. Thor versus Hulk, you're saying? I can't actually show you that now because it's actually messing up the stream. That's YouTube, you're a pain in my bum. Right, let's find Thor versus Hulk, strongest of all.
Steve and Dave use eToro to invest in the financial market.
Do they? That's nice. That's an advert. I don't care. Goodbye.
What happens when two of the greatest titans...
I'll just leave that there for a second. But yeah, that's what we're going to be listening to. Make sure that sounds good. Sounds all right. The Thor versus Hulk. We got some copic markers. I'll tell you a little bit more about the copic markers. Not that there's that much to tell you now about the copic markers. I've got my color page. Shall I have a swatch page? I think I'll have this page open as well for a swatch page. So when I say swatch page, I mean there, for instance, that's color. Yeah, there's an instability problem today for YouTube for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's hot today. Like again, the computer may completely decide it's going to bug out. Okay, what I was saying is you've got this color and a swatch page to say, oh, it may not be the right, I don't know if it's the actual color of it. So let's put a little bit, do you know what? Let's not put that side. Let's put that side down. You know what I mean? How close to that is that? Of colors that we need anyway. So we need, for the head, we need green and yellow. Well, you can pick your green, you can pick your yellow. You want that green, want that green. So we'll go 1, 2. We'll go what? 1, 2. Pretty much the same color. That one's a lighter, that's a darker. And then 3, 4. This is going to be a long stream. 5. And 6. There's your kind of greens that I will probably use. That are nice and colourful. You want to pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm literally going to make you pick every single colour, mate. So if you were, because I don't know which colours to use. Copic markers are an alien race to me. So pick colours and we'll go with those. 1 of 6. Or there may be a slight delay. If that is the case, what you can do, bud. Okay, you are hearing it. So what you can do is if you can't text or you can't comment, please let me know if you can't comment or the stream is having problems. Artemis, please. If the stream is having mega problems, I kind of need to know because all I can see on my end is it's working. But having problems, please let me know over on WhatsApp, please. Or just type in chat, it's fine. We got the yellow. What other colours? We need yellow, so let's what hot yellows would work. Yellow was orange, it's more of like an in between, isn't it? So orange, yellowy orange. So 1, 2. Just put like a number in there. No need to go green. That's a bit. Holy shit! Have I got flesh color? Oh yeah, I already knew I had flesh color. Check them out, didn't I? Yeah, I think that's the only like orangey colors we have we can really use for a pineapple. So there you go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4. So 6 or one of the 4. I'm thinking leaning towards that for the pineapple. Orange 2. So that one there, orange 2. Okay, what about the green, mate? 1 of 6. That's the orange you picked, by the way. Hang on, which way is that? That way? Is that the way? I think that's right. I think that's right. I have no idea. But that's the orange you picked. So 3. That green. That's the green you want. Because I'll mix the colors when I do the painting as well to the same matched color. Is that the green or did you want something lighter? Number 2. Okay. So we've got our green, we've got our orange. Okay, so now we need... I'm going to put that down a second. I'm not sure how dark that actually is. I think you can see the colors as well as you think. I think you can. Okay, so that this one here is a little bit more yellow. Oh my god, I actually don't have that many yellows. I'm a bit disappointed in that. The rest of them are a bit green. I mean, I'll use that if you want me to, bud. But that one is that one there. And that one is that one there. That's a bit more brown. That's what I'm saying. While you decide on those, I will... And that's quite great. That's quite dark as well. That green. If you want that green. That's that green there. Camera. Yeah, that's there if you want that green. If you want something lighter, there are quite a few different coloured lighters. We'll take that one away. That one's too dark for you. I thought it might be. That's why I've got the swatch page, so you can see what it looks like when it goes down. Light blue bowler hat. So we've got light blue, light blue, light blue, light blue. I got loads of fucking blue, which is good because I like blue. Excuse me. More darker blue, that one. Here's your light blues. I'm going to pick your blue. I am going to say we'll use that one for the... Okay, yeah, that yellow, lighter green. I thought you might. Let's go. How's that? That one's that one. I'll go back on. That one's that one. That one we don't want because it's too dark. And we got another green here. That's a bit lighter as well. They're basically the same color, just ever so slight tone difference. Those are too dark, so we'll put these back. We've definitely picked that one, so we'll pick that one and put that to the side. Would you, for the greens there, mate, do you want 1 or 2? 1, 2. Which would you like? Yes. Yes. Okay, I'll just yes to that one then. Okay, blue. We've got for light. Get the bloody thing off. We've got light blue, which is that's that one. That's number 1. And we have this blue there, number 2. That one's a bit more of a darker blue, so we'll put that one to the side. Okay, this one's a bit, this is grey. This is grey blue, so it's going to be dark again. Well, I think we'll use that one. We'll keep those to the side because they are quite interesting colours. We'll ignore those, so 1 or 2. And this should be blue as well. Yeah, there you go. Oh, there's one more here. But it's a bit more darker. Yeah, that one's a bit darker. Pick your colours, mate. 1, 2, 3 or 4. 3. So this one. No problem. That one there. Okay, for the shirt, you said pink. So these are the pinks. One pink there, number 1. And pink 2. There's another pink 2. Pink 3. I mean, I could use the lighter color and then shade it with the darker. What I would do. 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4. No, 5. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, or 5, my friend. Five, please, Bob. So this one. Last one I'll put down. No problem. There we go. Put that to the side. And now we need black. Well, as black as black. We can't get any darker than black. So dark blue, dark blue. Dark blue. Good. So you got number 1 for dark blue. Number 2 for dark blue. And this is going on his jacket. His overcoat. He's got black waistcoat. What other colours do I have in here? That would be a dark blue. Nothing much really. I mean, this is blue, but it's a bit more of a marine blue, as it's called. Quite dark, that one. No other real colours that I would call blue in here, Matt, that you haven't already seen. So which colour dark blue? 1, 2, or 3? One, 2, or 3. 1, 2, 3. Number 2 it is. Okay, so now we got what we got left. We've got jacket, trousers. Okay, trousers are light blue. I wish I kept those out now because I don't know which ones of these are. I mean, is that what I think it is? Yeah, that's that one. So, I mean, that's still quite a lot dark blue, but one, two. Bit more of a green, this one, hasn't it? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and maybe this one. Was it this one? Oh wait, wait. Would you like the same light blue for the trousers as the hat? Because both have got light blue colour. So would you like to pick different one? Oh. 2. Okay. So 2. And you can have that as well. Is this one darker? Oh, that one's a dark. We'll forget about that one. Same blue, thank you very much. Because I know for a fact I'd pick one blue up and go, oops, use the wrong blue there. Okay, so hat, dark. Hang on. Bow tie is light blue. Then we've got. Okay. We've got 2 light blues, 2 dark blues, one for the top hat, one for the jacket. So the top hat and jacket's going to be the same color. The trousers and the bow tie are going to be the same color. Shoes are going to be black and deep red. You're very specific on your cane color, so we'll try and find a cherry red. That there was deep red. This one is that's a bit more of a cherry color. We'll have that one. It's rose red, but it's close to cherry red, as I think that we will need. There, we'll worry about what we'll do now is I'll color all this in, and we'll go back. No, fuck it, we're already here. So for the background, you wanted a dark wood color. I wonder if there's any here that's actually called dark wood. So we need like a brownish color, brown. Dark wood, wine red. That's that'll be a dark wood color. There's for that. Or you can pick again. There's dark wood there. There's the brown for the dark wood. I pretty much haven't got that many browns. You never really get many browns in anything, which is really annoying. So we'll keep with that one because there isn't that many browns. Sorry. Stools. You wanted a reddish color. So reddish. Got Scarlett. Reddish for the seats, or would you prefer? Again, that's red. And then we've got, whoops. And then we have that one. Oops. Then we have this red. Oh, that's quite a nice red. And then we have this red. So we're going 1, 2. I'll tell you in a second which once I actually get around. That's the same color as that. Really? Okay. More cherry. A bit more of a cherry red. I like that one. That's a bit more of a cherry red. We'll replace that one. So yeah, pick 1, 2, 3, or 4, bud. This is for your seats. I know you wanted a cappuccino, which for the floor and the walls. Well, I'll probably use the same dark wood as here, and then maybe use a lighter wood for the top here. But the background is just background. I really wanted to get the main picture of your character done, so that means I've got all the colors. I know what he looks like, and I can start making him. I've got to get a stand or something for all of these because I'm going to get them so mixed up. Dried in showing, because now I'm able to go over those about 100 times if I wish, and they will not rip the page as long as you're not being stupid with it. Coping markers are one of the bestest things to use for that kind of artwork. If you want to, layered effect. What you got to do is pick your red there, buddy, and then I'll get going. Scarlett is 2. You are wrong. That's the number 2 is French vermilion. Vermilion, whatever that is. Can't even see that, but French vermilion, you didn't. Oh, 1, 2, 3, or 4. I'm an idiot. Scarlett is this one here, number 3. So he's picked Scarlett, so we'll get Scarlett. Hurry, done. Let's get going. My hearties. So that one there, that one's going over there. That's also with the. Yeah, I've got all the colours I want. Got all the colours I need. That's for the background. And let's get some Thor playing in the background. Move these pens because I don't need these ones now. Get them off the table so I get more space, and you get to see. Actually, here's any more light. Let's see how much light extra gets in. Yeah, you get a bit more light as well. Good. Okay, right. I've got all the colours I need. I've got all the idea that I need. All I need to do now is go a little bit quiet while I listen to some comic story in the background, and you get to see how this picture is going to come to life with a bit of copic marker colours.
Playing from the Nave SNT 110.
Every time.
Well, that's the story we're going to be covering today. It was a digital release that came out around the time of Thor Ragnarok.
Give me a second, I'm going to rewind that all the way.
Hulk versus Thor. What happens when 2 of the greatest titans in the Marvel universe fight it out to become the champion of the universe? Well, that's the story we're going to be covering today.
Okay,
it was a digital release
going.
that came out around the time of Thor Ragnarok, and we've broken it into 2 storylines because it is freaking long. So here's issues 1 through 3 of Hulk versus Thor, the digital version. And don't forget, today's episode is brought to you by Hims, a wellness brand for men focusing on hair, skin, and sexual wellness. Hims, a new wellness brand for men. Did you know that 66% of men lose their hair? Odin's son possibly keep your hair in hours by going to
I have no hair, right? It's never going to grow back. Go away.
2 of the mightiest Avengers do what they can to protect the Earth by smashing asteroids that an alien ship has started hurling towards the planet. Thor breaks through another asteroid and yells, "Ah, the mighty Thor has cleaved 27 space rocks. What say you, Hulk?" And the Hulk punches through another and shouts, "Hulk smash space rocks! Then Hulk smash Blondie's puny head." Thor laughs and asks the Hulk, "How about making a competition out of this then? That way you can witness the might of Mjolnir." He throws his hammer through another 5 asteroids, asking, "What you make of that?" And the Hulk grabs 2 of the asteroids, throwing them into a group of asteroids, and the Hulk says, "I see a cluster that you missed." As he flies towards it, the Hulk claps his hands, throwing Thor off his balance, knocking him into a rather large asteroid. Hulk floats down, telling him, 76. What little hammer say about that? And Thor tells him, "Fine. How about this large rock that you pressed again?" The Hulk tells him, "Rock, not rock. That rock's ship." And Thor laughs, telling him, "Double or nothing then. Whoever brings down the alien ship wins the day." Without saying nothing, Hulk punches Thor down so hard that he shoots through the entire ship. And Hulk shrugs, telling him, "Hulk wins again." And now with a hole in the alien ship, the Hulk flies, grabbing one of the aliens, and he gets to beat the others with the alien that he grabs. The aliens begin to run away, and then from the other side, Thor flies in, telling Hulk, "You've gone too far. We will deal with this after we stop these aliens." However, as the 2 of them fight their way through the ship towards the command room, they're suddenly stopped and trapped within 2 bubbles. Thor asks, "What devilry is this?" And then a light shines and the 2 see a silhouette of a figure. and a female voice yelling, "It is finally time for the actual game to begin." The light fades, and a dark-skinned woman in pink says that it's been far too long for these men to pretend that they are the strongest there is. She then jumps to another part of the stars, stating, "Today they will face off against Trico, champion of the universe. And what is an all-powerful god of battle to do? Why, find the universe's best hype woman ever. And that would be me, last of my race, elder of the universe, mistress of marketing. The promoter!" Thor tells the promoter, "Hold on for a moment. You wanted to throw asteroids towards Earth just to get our attention? All you had to do was ask." The promoter says that there is so much more to it than that. Right now, it is time for them to prove their worth and find out which of them will face off against Trico. The projector in the middle of the floor begins to light up and display a belt. And the promoter says, "The first challenge is to find this belt. It's called the Belt of Thurgid, the Unbeatable." And Thor says, "Wait, the Frost Giant champion? The one and the very same, but don't worry, something worse has already killed him. So have a nice trip." As she snaps her fingers, the hero suddenly see black as they're dropped into a dark cave. Thor grabs and holds up his hammer to provide light, and Hulk pulls his hand back from touching a wall, and he says, "Hulk hates sticky cave." He takes a step, walking through some of the muck, and shouts, "Why floor sticky?" Then the Hulk hears something, and he punches the wall, smashing something. Thor looks back, asking, "What did you just smash?" And the Hulk says, "Hulk saw a bug. Big bug." Thor sighs and continues to walk forward, stating that he has a theory as to what killed their frost giant. It would probably be the brood infestation, which he just smashed. The small broods begin to skitter, and Thor tells Hulk that he believes that it's time to begin counting again. As the two begin to run back the way they came, Hulk punches through what he can, yelling, "Hulk just ate bug spray!" Thor stops and turns back, holding his hammer up, shocking all of the surrounding brood. And Hulk continues right forward, shouting, "Hulk, leaving! Hulk, not like bugs!" Thor tells him, "Wait, there's no light," but before he can finish, the Hulk is thrown out of the tunnel that he just went into. Thor looks down the tunnel, asking, "What manner of beast throws the Hulk thusly?" As Mjolnir's light shines in, a giant brood wearing the belt that they are looking for arrives. And Thor says, "You must be Thurgid, the Unbeatable." As the brood leans down, telling Thor that that was the body of Thurgid the Unbeatable. "I have now become one of the brood, and now you shall join me as God's crackle of lightning." As Thor pulls his hammer back, he notices that it didn't do anything. And the brood laughs, telling him, "Frost Giant magic. The belt makes the armor indestructible, and the brood have already got a natural exoskeleton. There is no you could win." The brood then snacks Thor into a slime-covered wall, and as Thor tries to free himself, the brood begins to move in. Just before it can get close, Hulk runs in, grabbing the brood by the leg, throwing him into the wall. And then he looks up at the Thor and he says, "Blondie see belt." And Thor tells him, "It's on the creature. Now get him down so that we can." A hissing sound comes from behind them, and the Hulk yells, "Hulk not smash bugs. Hulk squash bugs!" And he proceeds to start jumping on the smaller brood. Thor sighs as he tries to free himself, and that's when his hammer begins to light up. It begins to burn away the slime, keeping it in place. Back down below, the Thurgid brood swipes at the Hulk, telling him, "You will make an excellent addition to the brood." But while more of the brood begin to surround the Hulk, Thor charges up his hammer and he manages to throw it down, barely missing the Thurgid brood. The Thurgid brood says that perhaps the Asgardian isn't worth infecting. He seems to have missed. And Thor asks, "Did I?" And just as he says that, the hollow ground begins to crumble beneath the brood. The ground finally gives way, causing the Thurgid brood to fall into a pit, and Thor shouts, "There! Now help me so that I can retrieve the belt." Thor thinks about it and then smiles. "Hulk not stupid." And he jumps down below. As he lands on the Thurgid brood, he says, "Hulk not know much, but Hulk know belter for holding up pants. And bugs not wear pants." As Hulk pulls the belt off, he jumps out of the hole, crashing into Thor. And then he continues jumping until the two of them are out of the cave. But just as they both get outside, they suddenly pop out of existence. As the two blink, they find themselves back in the bubble cages they were in before. And the promoter takes the belt off, stating that that is one big green monster. The promoter snaps her fingers again, changing into a suit of armor, stating that the next place that they're heading to is in a faraway world where swords and sorcery rule. Whoever brings the champion this locket will get the next point and be one step closer to the challenging. Oh, and by the way, last I heard, the locket was owned by a dragon. The promoter
Discover the perfect timepiece among an extensive range of luxury Swiss watches from the world.
snaps her fingers again, and the two disappear and they reappear on the planet Wildlands. Thor magically pops, appearing in the sky, and as he grasps, he doesn't feel anything, shouting, "Where's my hammer?" Without his hammer, Thor falls down, crashing into the trees below before finally slamming his head onto the ground. He then reaches for his helmet, stating that pratfall was worthy of the great ball stack. Let's try calling Mjolnir again. But before he can shout, he hears a woman's voice call out that there he is. She saw him fall from the sky, and yet he still lives. How is it even possible? Thor says that it takes much more than that to harm the god of thunder. The woman said that he needs to let her take care of him. At her home, she has bandages.
Squash page underneath it.
Telling her, well, I can think of no better place to begin my quest. My name is Thor, son of a...
How many don't say it's going for 2 pages. Alright, I'll just use that as the squash page for every time I use it, no problem.
Now, there's one thing that I must know.
Maybe it's because I oversaturated that piece, I think.
Elder, she carries them off. She asks,
never mind.
After a short while,
Carry on.
Getting over the sadness of there being no me, Eldor brings Thor to the spring to bathe him. He says that he's starting to think that she has other motives. She laughs, stating that she does. His smell is rather overwhelming. And Thor says, it is a fair statement. As he gets down into the spring, he mentions that he does have a question. What does she know of dragons? She continues to retrieve his bandages, telling him that there are very few left. They were hunted relentlessly by the king's guard. Thor washes himself, stating that she says it as if she mourns for them. Are they not? Is he doing? There are dragons loose, and he has no clothing on. He steps out of the spring, stating that there must be some mistake. There are no dragons. I'm merely waiting for medical assistance for my injuries, and one of the knights shouts that there she is, Eldor, daughter of Dreki. Halt in the name of the king. Thor steps between the knights and the woman, stating, now, surely you do not wish to harm this lady. And one of the knights states that is not a lady, that is an abomination. Thor reaches down, grabbing one of the knight's swords, kicking him back, stating, fine. Then you best back away before I have to get involved. However, there's a ripping sound coming from behind him, and he asks, what was that? And as he turns around to see Eldor, he sees that she's finished transforming into a dragon. And Thor says, this is not how I imagined that this relationship would progress. As she towers over Thor in the night, she roars, and Thor says that surely there is a way to resolve this matter without eating these men. And one of the knights shouts that they shall run this ungodly creature through, and runs up stabbing Eldor in the foot. Eldor howls in pain and backs up, and Thor notices that she's not fighting back. He then asks, what manner of knights are you? No creature will perish under my watch. And after grabbing a log, he jumps in to fight the knights. One of the knights points their sword at Thor, telling him that he stands between the defenders of the realm and the scourge that threatens to destroy the kingdom. And Thor says, no, I stand for a kind lady who tended for a stranger in need, simply because I was in need. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Hulk is doing Hulk things, like holding a one-man siege against a castle because the knights shot him with arrows. But back with Thor, while he fights off the knights, one manages to sneak up behind him and stab him in the shoulder with a dagger. Eldor shouts that he has been murdered, and Thor tells her, nay, I shall live. And Eldor shouts that she cannot allow these madmen to kill those who would fight for her. With one deep breath, she opens her mouth, releasing a giant wave of fire, burning the knights where they stand. As Thor attempts to treat the stab wound, Eldor transforms back into her human form, running over, telling Thor that she needs to take the dagger out. Before turning, Thor looks up and sees the locket that he's after around her neck. He says, that's a locket. Eldor pulls the blade out, asking what of it, and Thor explains that he was tasked to retrieve it. It was supposed to be a contest to prove his strength. She looks at the dagger, stating that the blade was crafted from either the tooth of her father.
Really? I'm out of time already. Alexa, stop. Give me a second. I'm going to, because I took most of the time picking the colours, I'm just going to quickly swap over the PlayStation so I can start recording this again.
But just before the queen can lower her sword, there's a sudden...
That will we get 3 updates, less IT issues, lower ownership cost.
Trifecta.
Crash, and something is thrown through the hallways and into the queen. As the smoke clears, she looks up, holding Thor, and Thor says, please forgive me, I'm having a bit of a dispute with a lady friend. Hulk stands up, asking, Blondie lost hammer and pants? You should have come with me. These men want you to fight Hulk, but now Hulk a knight and go fight dragon. Blondie should come. But before Hulk can finish, Thor smacks him with a table, stating, no thank you. And he quickly escapes outside of the castle. As he makes his way outside, he calls to Eldor, telling her that she doesn't have to do this, that she's going to attack the castle. Now she would not only be killing soldiers, but women and children. There's no redemption from such slaughter. He cannot allow her to continue any further with this madness. She kneels down, telling him that he's right, she can't. That's when the Hulk shouts, Blondie! Thor looks over at Hulk, covered in knight's armor, and he yells, Blondie fight dragon and not your Hulk! Blondie cheat! Hulk, have at you. Thor tries to tell him to wait, but before Thor realizes it, Hulk leaps over.
Alexa, set me 50 minutes on a timer.
50 minutes, starting now.
Eldor asks Thor if he would sacrifice the war with himself, much like you. Eldor begins to change back, and she says that he saved her this day. Please, take the locket. It has the power to heal any wound. And Thor tells her that he could not accept such a thing, so she places the locket into Thor's hand. Him and Hulk into fate. I'll say you allow us to, but before he can finish, he disappears. Seconds later, Thor wakes up in a room and he sees that Bruce is Bruce. He's not the Hulk, he's Bruce Banner. He rushes over to try and wake him up and he yells, "I've had enough of these games." And it tells Thor that once she snaps his fingers, he will fall into a deep sleep. As Thor says, "Nay!" The woman snaps and Thor passes out. The promoter tells the two of them that this is Carla Soft, psychologist, master manipulator, and supervillain known as Moonstone. She will be administering the psychological round of testing. And then you're having Hulk versus Thor. The first 3 issues of this storyline brought to you right here at Comic Storian and sponsored by forhims.com, a wellness brand for men. Don't forget to check out the link down below to get yourself a trial month. And if you want to support us here at Comic Storian just one step further, join the people on the screen by going to our Patreon, where we offer things like behind-the-scenes footage, podcasts just for the Patreons, movie nights, getting your name on the screen as you can see, and things like comic book raffles. Just an idea. All those links are down below, and I'll see you next time right here at Comic Storian.
Or we can listen to some more Thor. I'm going to pick this. Thor the God Picture.
Welcome to the Full Story series, where we take some of our older videos and put them together into a long audio drama of some of your favorite comic books, creating almost like a motion comic movie. Today we're going to be telling you the full story of Thor the God.
Getting new glasses. All right, buddy. Bye. Thanks for coming in and telling me that.
This is also a prelude to some of the events that lead up to War of the Realms, so it may help you to some extent. Hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget, if you do enjoy this, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to our channel. I'll tell you again at the end of the video, but kind of long, so wanted to tell you at the beginning. Enjoy. Our story begins in 893, just off the coast of Iceland, where young Thor enjoys the finer pleasures of his life. A frost giant has been terrorizing the people for weeks, and Thor saw to it that his axe Jormungand would hack off his head right there. For the next 4 days, Thor had eaten more goats than the frost giant and drank enough mead to drown a dozen sailors. And he made love to more than half of them.
Are you ready to trade with FXCM?
Oh my God, adverts.
Stock indices.
Don't care about your adverts. I want adverts that go on normal TV.
God of Thunder, Prince of Asgard. But on that 4th night,
I haven't watched that in about 5 years.
What was it? A young girl runs up stating that someone is in the water, a devil man, and one of the villagers pulls up a floating head from the water, tossing it to the ground, stating that he is not from their village. Thor looks at the dead man's eye and he says that he was a god. The villagers begin to panic and Thor tells them that whatever it was that killed this man, its skull will be no match for Asgardian steel. He picks up the head and the village elder asks Thor if he's ever seen anything like a butchered god before. Thor examines the head and he says that he's seen gods suffer and bleed. A mortal father subject their own sons to torments. But this, I have never seen anything like the horror in this god's eyes. The elder falls to her knees and she begins to...
It's taking a little bit of an artistic
What god are you, friend?
idea here. Do you want me to, with these flaps that are flapping out of the jacket, do you want me to like have it an undercolor? So Mr. Pineapple Man. What do you prefer? That doesn't answer the question, bud. Go for what? Do you want me to keep it dark blue or do you like it light blue? Same with the pocket. I'm just going to think what I'll do for the thing is put that. Still, you can't see it, but you'll be able to see it when I zoom in towards the end. But yeah, just thingy pocket, a little bit of red there. he tricked me to the other day into believing he's Spanish. Okay? People do that on the internet. Do what you like. You can be whoever the hell you want to be on the internet. You know what I mean? So let him be what he wants to be. I don't use my own personal name anymore, as you know. I consider myself as Blute. Because I don't like my real name. And you'll never know what it is. Ha 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 ha. Apart from you, Artemis Craft. You already know what my real name is. Do not tell anybody. Like too different? Okay, that's all I needed here, bud. Now carry on.
She tells him that she is praying to all of them. And the current day on the planet of Indigar, a young alien girl prays for rain on their dry land, for without it, they shall die. Suddenly there's a strike of thunder as a hammer falls, and with it rain washes over the ground. Thor grabs Mjolnir and he says that he is Thor, warrior of Asgard, avenger of Earth, and he swears on all that is holy, no one will die today. The young girl runs over telling him that she never thought he would actually come, and Thor tells her that he heard her prayer. What kind of god would he be if he did not answer? As for his aid, the aliens offered Thor their best cave slime ale, and he told them stories of his travels and triumphs. As the young girl sleeps, the elder tells Thor that they owe him their lives, and Thor says that what they owe is this girl and her prayer. Why is it that they do not pray to their own gods? And the elder says that is because Indigar has no gods. However, as a child, his mother would tell him stories of gods from long ago who lived in a jeweled city high in the clouds. Shocked to hear this, Thor takes this guy to find that jeweled city, and soon he does. He walks through the palace to find no one in sight and nothing disturbed. But there is one thing strange, a storage room with chains locking it tight. With one swing from Mjolnir, Thor breaks the chains, opening the door, and then he smells why no one has been in here. These gods are dead. Hog Scar the Harsh, Crawl Skin the Cruel, Lady Vile, the goddess of atrocities, and the entire pantheon of fearsome immortals, all butchered like animals. While Thor looks around, outside those chains begin to melt and pull together. Thor realizes what's going on. He says, "Oh hell." He turns back to see a giant black beast lunging at him, and the beast attacks wildly like an animal. No skill, no fury. This is not the killer, this is his guard dog, and a very strong one at that. Thor is knocked into a stone wall, and as he gets back up, he thinks that there is only one person who could have done this. Thor, the God Butcher, yet lives. And that can only mean one thing. More gods are sure to die. Many millennia from them, in the far-flung future, in the great hall of Asgard, King Thor sits upon his throne, with no subjects to rule. He shouts for someone to bring him his arm, and then he remembers that he is so damn old, he keeps forgetting that there is no one left but him. He is Thor Odin's son, king of a broken Asgard, last of all of the gods, and today he will try yet again to see Valhalla. With sword and hammer in hand, Thor leaps out into battle against the Black Beast. Knowing whatever may happen, he will face it like a god. Back in the past, young Thor travels with the Vikings across the sea to see more of the gods who were slain and washed up on the shores. They sail for 3 days until they reach the banks of Naval River, and they find the Slavs. And Thor asks, where are the gods that they pray to? One shouts that their gods will be here soon enough, Norse swine. Piran the Storm Lord and Chernabog the Black will come on their winged stallions. Soon everyone begins to hear the flapping of wings, and when they look up, they see Piran's steed bloody and with no period on. One of the Vikings says that it would appear the gods hadn't the nerve to face him. And Thor takes the steed flying into the sky, telling the Vikings to make sure that they give a cask of ale for him. He flies up and he begins to feel the droplets of blood raining down, god blood from the skies. Seconds later, Chernabog the Black rides by, now with his head cut off, dripping blood into the clouds. And behind him is Thor, the God Butcher, readying his black blade. Without even so much as a flash, the winged horse had its own head and legs.
Oh yeah, I told you my name, didn't I? Yeah, please don't tell anybody. It's one of those things I don't like about myself, so please don't tell anybody.
As Thor falls, he grabs a hold of Chernabog's steed and he flies back yelling, "My name is Thorvast. Soon the entire pantheon will join you." The two fight in the skies, exchanging blow after blow, and Gor's weapons are unlike anything that Thor has ever seen. They form and they whip about, all striking perfectly, and in one last attempt at victory, Thor slashes into Gore, but he responds by shooting out and knocking Thor off of his horse. Thor tries to fight him off, and Gore takes his black blade from him.
Do you know that those people only understand about 10% of what the Catholic faith has to offer?
Oh my god!
Into Thor's
or should I say, my gods?
What are you even the god of? Thor begins to laugh.
I'm a not a Celt. What's the word?
God.
What?
The thunder.
I don't know.
As the god moves, the lightning strikes Thor off, and the two begin
Yeah,
to
I don't believe in any particular god.
Current time, the present day. The normal middle-aged Thor stands above the defeated.
Get off that subject straight away. Alright, got dark blue.
Mjolnir then pulls Thor into the air, and Thor shouts they must make haste to the
Yeah, dark blue hat.
The gods have all known, for the longer that they tarry, the gods will soon suffer. Upon reaching the city, the Lord Librarian takes Thor to the Hall of the Lost, the room filled with books and scrolls of gods who have been inactive. Thor looks at the giant rows of tomes and asks, isn't anyone alarmed by how many of them there are? And the librarian tells him that gods come and go. Such is the way of things. With so many places to start, Thor picks one. The Oaken King in Sequania of the Garden Eternal. No one has seen them for 2,000 years, and when Thor arrives, he sees exactly why. These gods were nailed to their trees, and just like before, a black beast uproots. World after world, planet after planet, all of them the same. The bodies of the gods butchered by a black beast keeping watch. As Thor gazes off the massive body of what was once Falagard of a human, he swiftly he then rips the head off and he screams to Gore.
For that band on the hat there, what colour do you want that? Do you want that light blue? Do you want that pink?
Did I kill him? And a Viking tells them that they are unsure. They just found him lying in the snow. Thor gets up telling the man to bring him meat.
Mr. Pineapple One, do you want that? Do you want that there, pink, or do you want that light blue?
But instead finds another god. The god calls out that he is, or was, Inkon, Siberian god of the hunt. The Black Butcher told him to relay a message, and that was to come to his cave along the lake, just follow the screams. Thor holds out his axe, telling him that there is no honor in the way that the god Butcher fights. Now be at peace, Inkon, the hunters entered. And the current times without.
Can you hear that in the background, by the way?
On the shores of Lake Ladoga, Thor takes Iron Man with him to scan the area for the
A bit quiet.
once found so long ago. Tony tells him that he knows.
What colour do you want the gloves, mate?
No. And Tony says, that's right. God.
Never actually picked. Do you want to keep them white?
We have mortal problems to deal with right now. So Thor looks at the cave that he was once in 1,000 years ago, hoping to never see it again. There have been plenty of things that he has forgotten over the years. The face of the first maiden that he kissed, the first troll that he felled, or even the first dragon that he tamed. But this cave is something that he will remember to the end of time. This is where the God Butcher taught him fear. As he steps in, he calls to Queen Freya that she needs to have every Asgardian called back home. Their gates locked behind them. Anyone of a mortal blood is under threat. Freya asks what happened, under threat by whom, and then there's a snap of a twig. Thor grips his hammer and he charges forward at the being fleeing. He grabs a hold of him and the creature shouts, "Don't hurt him! I am not Gore!" And Thor demands to know why he is here. The creature tells him that he is hiding from him. After what happened, Gore would never set foot here. Everything that is happening now is all because of what happened here.
There's a character apart from the hands. We're oh wait. Nearly forgot the tails. Nearly forgot the tails.
One who looked upon the face of Gore and lived. He's not sure why he was kept alive, why he was made to witness as this whole pantheon was slaughtered by the Black Berserker. Every day he begged to be killed, to stop it all, but Gore just cut off his eyelids and said that he had no choice but to watch. Gore also said that he would never come to this cave, and that he was saving Thor for last. Thor asks where he can find the God Butcher, and Shadrach tells him that there is no need to look, he will appear soon enough. But perhaps Cronus. Thor then tells Shadrach to come with, so together they may finally end this thing once and for all. And later at the Omnipotent City, Thor and Shadrach head to the hall.
Keep white. Right on, bud.
Information on Cronus. When Thor finds the young Thor,
Okay. So I've done. We're done with the picture. I've got to do now is the background. I'll get around to all that, and we should be good. Jobs are good.
Gore tells him, "You know, I'm not exactly a novice in the ways of torture."
And I get around to making that upon clay.
After an evening with him, he gave up.
And get it made.
Because
Because once I've made it, I'm going to bake them all together, and then I'll paint them all together, and then I will either send them to you, or if you want to come and pick them up and see the studio, you're more than welcome.
Who is the god called Cronus? And the librarian tells him that Cronus
Right.
isn't the god.
So we had cappuccino for the floor and walls. We had red.
And Thor tells him, "It may have burned, but I read what I needed. I fly to Cronus, the palace of infinity." Meanwhile, on Cronus, the berserkers slaughter all of the gods there, draining their blood into a large pool. Gore looks at the last god and he asks, "Is this enough?" And the time god tells him, "It will have to be. There's none left." Gore tells him, "Just keep in mind, if I don't return, the berserkers will tear you apart." The god says and he can't promise that he wouldn't be killed once he gets to where he's going. You're going extremely far back. Do you even know what's
I
waiting?
think I'll start with the red.
I know more about gods and their history than you do, last god of Cronus. As Gore begins to step into the pool, the god
Do you want
says that there will always
Do you want the bar red as well?
caretakers of time.
So you got dark wood slats but with a red bar.
Those who
Just
do harm
spitballed him.
And I had yet to decide which is more worthy of my wrath. Soon enough, though, you will all be dead.
I must say, guys, I am really impressed with these pens, by the way. I have never had such a clean and easy, but that doesn't make any difference whatsoever. As long as it doesn't go 2-3 pages. Shut up, because you're going to give me copyright. Shut up, you bloody stupid. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with these pens. They're doing exactly what I want them to do. And if I go over them, I don't rip the page. If I want a little bit of a darker color camera, or can you?
I need so many slaves. That's Thor. Should he stop now? It's been 17 days and you've endured far longer than even the sturdiest of you.
It seems like you get to a certain patch and you're like, oh, my pen's running out now. Give it a couple minutes to resaturate. Whereas this is saturating as quickly as I'm putting it down. I mean, saturating the tip of the pen.
And the men don't listen. They continue to fight. So Thor says, fine, you shall die for your god. See if he even takes notice.
It's a different red, because that is so convenient for there.
In the current times, the present day, the berserkers overwhelm Thor and they hold him down as Gore tells him, I thought you were dead that day, but instead, they saved you. I saved you from a life of failure, which is why I must repay my debt by letting you die last. Gore looks at the last of the time gods and he asks to his blood into the pool. Gore shouts that all the gods will die, from the first to the last. He must go now and build an army and explore the new horizons of the Asylum. As Gore sinks into the pool, he tells Thor to make sure that he stays alive for a very long time. I would be terribly disappointed if we do not speak again. And Thor shouts for him not to go, and he bursts out of the pile of berserkers. He shouts, Butcher of the Gods, and a voice tells him, well, look at that. I wasn't expecting you. King Thor steps out, and Thor asks, what happened to the Asgardian father? King Thor tells that they are dissolving. Bless his eye, they're being pulled back. Thor asks, where is the God Butcher? He was just behind me. And King Thor says, right behind you? You're even dumber than I remember. He goes on explaining that he did appear at the same exact spot that he did, but he's late. The God Butcher has been here for 900 years, and he's been busy. Elsewhere, Gore returns his berserkers into himself, stating that it would seem that we have another Thor. Splendid!
Yeah, the bar red as well.
Many of those.
A bit dry. I need the juice. I need the juice. And give me the juice. I need the juice.
With the last of their cave apple, they offered it to the gods to watch over them and help them through this hardship. The young Thor asked why would they pray to the gods to watch over them when they allowed his father to die from his son. His mother told him that his father lived a long life. They will soon see him again when the night comes. He will be there with the rest of the blessed angels that shine on. Thor then asked, why? Why can't he see his father? Why can't he ever see
BRB phone. Okay. Right, okay. Let's get this bar.
Never did see her again. The days turned to months, and the months turned to years, and Gore found a small bit of happiness with his wife. One day, his wife, who expected their second child, fell victim to an earthquake that took her life. All the while, Gore begged and pleaded with the gods to please save him and his family. And as many trees baked with fruit, so much that we will never be hungry again. Later, Gore buried his son. He could not even cry, but there was no water left inside of him. He told his son that he was sorry for bringing him into this wretched world. And the tribe's leader, Rugai, told Thor that he can't do this. Burying his son's body is forbidden. The dead must hang from the trees so that the gods may take him into the sky. But leaving him to the ground, he only damns his soul to sacrilege. For the only words that Gore could find is that they are already damned. The tribe leader asked, what did you say? And Gore lashed out, telling him to open his eyes. We moved from one dried up cave to the next, eating slime off the bottom of rocks, leaving only a trail of our dead behind. The tribe leader shouts that he must be careful with his blasphemies, for the gods hear every word. Gore then says, there is only us. The sooner that you accept that, the sooner that we can. But before he can finish, someone from the tribe throws a rock, hitting him in the head. The rest of the tribe joins in, stoning Gore until he falls. and the tribe leader says that he is now an outcast. And the gods have mercy on his soul, though he expects the sun will not. Gore is left to die alone, and he manages to crawl through the deserts, waiting for the moment that he can finally just die. However, before that moment can come, there's a fire in the sky that crashes down onto the planet's surface. He runs over asking, why can't I ever die in peace? And what he finds are two gods.
Advertisement. Go away.
I'm struggling for power. The god in gold lifts his bloody hand, asking for help from the dying life form. And Gore asks him, help? Help you? Where were you? Where were you when my children were starving? When my wife was screaming for your help? When my mother was butchered? He took that power. He killed the two gods. He had just killed his first god, and there was only one question that he has left. Were there more gods to kill? Many centuries went by, and Gore goes on telling the story of how he came to be to a slave god. He then asks the god, telling him, you speak like someone who would rather die than be whipped. What is your name? The god shouts in pain, telling him that he is Volstagg. He is, or he was, Volstagg the valiant lion of Asgard. Gore goes on whipping, and Volstagg tells him, not even the Allfather.
So dark brown.
But in the end, there will still be
For
no light.
the wood.
Rage takes over, and Gore stabs a stake into Volstagg's hand, and after a moment, he tells his son that he becomes is bound to a cross telling him, soon, very soon. Back in the past, the young Thor wakes from a nightmare where he sees Thor's face, telling him that he is not finished. Thor wakes up stating, he isn't dead. And the woman with the mask says, who? Thor tells her, do not worry your pretty little head. And the woman gets up telling him that he should know that she makes war like she makes love. Naked and in a berserker rage. Thor then says that he's coming at the shadows. It's been 8 days since they killed the god butcher, and I wish to not dream any more of this. She drops her blanket and sword, stating that she can do for the glory of Asgard. Meanwhile, in the ruined Asgard, Thor asks, what happened here? Is that the arm of the destroyer? King Thor asks if he simply is going to gawk at him, like some half-witted Hercules, or may we see to our business? The two walk, and as Thor looks around, he notices the high seat of Odin, though no one but the Allfather is allowed here. King Thor tells him, that's right. Well, I am the Allfather, and you are, what again? An Avenger? Guardian of the Galaxy? Have you moved to the sun to become a cosmic cop yet? Thor asks him, what? No. And King Thor says, just forget everything I just said. King Thor looks through the terminal and says, by my beard, they're gone. Gore had called the Black Berserkers home for the first time in 900 years. We still have a chance. King Thor walks on, telling his younger self to make himself ready for war.
Okay,
There's
you
no
can.
mere
I'll definitely give you a zoom in because you can't see. There is actual individual lines showing the dark wood here. Wow, really can't see on the camera though.
And on the eve of their extinction, go there and make ready so that they can leave. Thor walks, telling himself, this can't be right. Perhaps this is one of those alternate futures that the X-Men are always on about. And what could you possibly need me to make ready for myself? I am ready to pound the butcher of gods into the dirt once and for all. A massive door swings open, revealing the Allfather's room is full of ale. And then Thor responds as well. I suppose that one drink wouldn't hurt. Back in present day, Thor's night of lust is interrupted by two of the Black Berserkers grabbing and pulling him aside. He cleaves one, asking, where is the one-armed coward? The second Berserker then takes out a magic crystal and throws it at Thor. The ground begins to change and Thor sinks through it into a pink glow surrounding him. As he is lifted up, the future Gore looks down, telling him, ah, my favorite Thor. Welcome to the place where the gods go to die. Over in the future, Thor, in his king version, get ready to depart on Skidbladnir. And the king mentions that for the first time in a long time, you can feel it. The Thor Force. The younger version asks, wait, don't you mean the Odin Force? We wield the awesome power of the Odin Force. And King says, we call it the Thor Force now. And we have been for 10,000 years. I've even held it longer than the old man ever did. But let us leave for honor in the realm eternal. Vengeance defies the last charge of the armies of Asgard. The last ride of the gods of thunder. Currently, in the present day at Omnipotent City, the great librarian tries to save what documents he can, but the one with the location of Chronox was lost. The librarian turns to Shadrach, asking, who are you again? What are you a god of? And Shadrach tells him, these records to find out who you are, I will beat you senseless with the tome. Shadrach begins to cry, stating, he came to me, asking how to build it. To make him stop killing my people, I agreed. I am Shadrach, the god of bombs. While the current and future Thors ride to Gore's unholy war, the youngest of the Thors is put to work collecting materials for the massive god bomb. But after one last crack of the whip, he throws the stone onto a berserker, shouting for them to come. This god is no man's slave. Someone grabs
That's
him by the hair,
interesting.
and the voice asks,
I can use the tip of the fatter ended one to, as same as I could the other end.
Before he can finish, a woman kicks him to the ground, stating,
A little bit of a
"She dare.
detailed,
Now get back to work, or it'll be
little bit of a
thrown your
detail
arms
one.
broken so you can
I like that.
lose your tongue." Thor whips the
Don't have to
blood from his
continuously
thunder, and he
swap
will never
between the
see
two.
will of Gore. And to see such cowardice among his fellow gods fills him with the shame for all of divinity. The woman asks, "Did this boy god really just call us cowards?" And the redheaded sister says that she wouldn't mind if he reached through his stubborn, beardless
They're a
face to
smidgy
rip out his
they're a
stone.
smidge
Maybe he'll be less annoyed.
chunky,
The
but
armchair sister says, "But he's so handsome. Seems like a shame to waste it. Not to mention
it's a nice
stone."
feel in the
The
hand
blonde one tells Thor, "You better be
because
back
I
in
get quite a bit of crap. Hello, Roblox Fun Time. How you doing, buddy? I get a little bit of cramp in my hand with ordinary pens, and I haven't got cramp yet, so that's a good thing.
As Thor has worked as a slave, moving rocks and materials from one place to the next, as he sets a stone down, he quietly asks, "What the hell is that thing anyway?" Thor's son happily tells him it's a bomb, and it's going to kill all the gods. After 900 years of labor, it's almost finished. Thor asks,
Why is my stream? Oh, it's your son. I won't show you the Roblox then, so it's a surprise for you.
No more fear of eternal damnation or lust for eternal reward. No more hatred between believers of rival faith. Thor leans down, stating, "You should flee this world. Your father's going to die for what he has done by his own hands. Fate be with you." The son then holds out a finger and, using the darkness to pierce into Thor's throat, he tells him, "Never speak ill of my father again. You are but a jealous god. Now get back to work before I have you crucified." As the night comes, the god's slaves gather to discuss their plans. Plans that must be acted upon now before it is too late. Some of the gods say that they should do it tonight, and Frigg says that it's not a matter of when, but rather who. Who among them can they trust to lead the way and carry the burden, knowing that even if they succeed, they will still die? A voice tells her that if she is talking about destroying that bomb and killing that bastard Thor, then look no further, for he is their god. Thor jumps down and Frigg tells him, "No offense, friend, but we don't even know who you are." Thor announces, "I am the favored son of Odin, the omnipotent, heir to the throne of the eternal Asgard, the lord of storm and god of thunder. You may call me Thor." Smith gasps, "Oh my heavens, I've been having impure thoughts about my grandfather." Frigg says, "Gore is known to pull gods out of the time stream. So if you really are who you say you are, then you should have no trouble summoning a thunderstorm to cover our attack." Thor looks away, stating that he has tried. "This world is too barren. There are no storms that answer Thor's call." Frigg tells him, "Fear not, even the rain god could not make dew anymore. But our plan is simple: destroy the bomb before it is finished." Thor asks, "How? It is the size of the moon. Do you really expect me to destroy it with a few ragged slaves with clubs and sharp stones?" As two gods set a glowing stone down, Frigg tells them that for the last 900 years, we ragged slaves have mined the cores of dead stars and broken planets for Gore's god bomb. This scrap of unstable matter is all that we need to steal and hide. We have a bomb of our own. Frigg looks away, stating, "The only issue is getting close enough to..."
There we go. I don't know what's going on with this stream today, guys. I do apologise for the instability of it today. But hi there, Roblox Fun Time, buddy. And yeah, it's cool that it's your son. Like I said, I won't show you the Roblox, but I have already. So you get a little bit of surprise because they're for you.
The sisters watch and Frigg says, "She'll be damned. He is." And he
Or have I
laughs.
just given the surprise away?
"Go, Granddad, go!" With all of his strength, Thor throws the bomb into the side of the giant god bomb, and the explosion goes off. Up in the skies, the Thor
Right,
feel the treasure of the explosion, and the king tells the younger, "You best get your hammer. Something is close." On the side of the longboat, a hand reaches up, gripping its side, and then the beast climbs aboard, screaming, hitting Thor with a space shot. The king blasts through it. Space shot! What manner of foul beast has Thor conjured up this time? King stares at the beast, stating, "The foulest, I'm afraid. Seems we found another one." The youngest then asks, "Are you really my father?" And King says, "By Thor's bows. Are we certain there isn't any hell left?" With a brief exchange of words, we now have the youngest, and the youngest explains the bomb left it untouched, not even a scratch. King Thor tells him, "I hope that you're a better slayer of god butchers than dismantler of bombs." And the youngest shouts, calling out to Gore. But Thor tells him, "Nay, the time for words is past. Now let the hammers talk." As the ship begins to descend downward, the Thors see a black creature appear before them, and Gore tells them that they really should have brought 4 Thors. The youngest jumps off shouting, and the king follows, stating, "These idiot children have yet to learn what it means to be the king. For the glory of Asgard!" The Thors fight valiantly, and Gore's weapons make their efforts for naught. King gathers his strength, stating, "I've waited 900 years to feel the thunder in my blood again. Let's see if it's still there." He holds out his arm, releasing the Thor Force, blasting Gore light years away into a far-off planet. With the awesome might of the All-Father unleashed, the God Butcher had felt something that he hasn't felt in a millennia. Fear. Gore begins to hurl chunks of the planet back towards the Thors, shouting, "I need more blood! Massacre all of the gods!" Down on the unholy planet, the Black Berserkers slay groups of gods, while throwing them into a pile, allowing the darkness to take them. With that darkness, it reaches up into space to aid Gore with the power in the form of a giant serpent. As the serpent begins to swallow 2 of the Thors, Gore says that he can feel them drowning. "No Thor shall survive this day." The youngest's voice calls out, "And no Gore will either. Faster, you stupid shark!" And with one mighty swing of the 2-handed hammer, Thor launches Gore back into the planet, telling him, "I know that you praise and no God, but if you'd like, you can praise him me now." Back with the serpent, King musters his strength open at the beast's jaws, telling the younger to hurry and go. "Let the Lord of Asgard deal with the worm." The mighty Thor races down to the planet, swinging into Gore so hard that he can feel his fingers crack and his muscles tear. And yet he swung again, even harder than before, and again, and again! With each and every cut, Thor could feel Gore's weapon creep inside of him, burrowing deeper into his flesh. Thor ignored the pain, focusing on the bludgeoning, ignoring everything else. And as the struggle continued, it took the cracking of a planet to snap his mind back to reality. The planet's surface begins to crack and explode, and there to mend it is Thor. And soon the fissures are settled. As Thor returns to the battle, Gore tells him, "I understand you now. The old you is fueled by regret. The young one uses his arrogance and has his crippling shame. And as for you, you try so desperately to seem noble, all because you see just how petty and useless your kind really are." At that moment, the king, the youngest, and the Thor came together to fight side by side to take down the universe's greatest foe. King blasts Gore one more time towards the sun, and the mighty Thor shouts to follow. The group flies faster and faster towards the sun until there is no sight of anyone. And just then, for the first time in the galaxy, people could look up and see the sun turn black. Down on the unholy planet, it began to rain, and it rained blood, God blood. Next it rained hammers, and then Thors, and despair. Gore stands atop the 3 bodies shouting, "Make ready to fall." The thunder fell silent, and as King Thor was nailed to a comet and sent roaring, Thor the Avenger was cast into the ground that opened into a great black maw. Mjolnir's lay encased in a cage of blood, unable to fly to the back.
Cappuccino.
And the youngest found himself too spent to even muster a curse as the countdown began. Gore drags the youngest through the lands when his wife runs up asking if he is unharmed. Please tell her that her love is unharmed. And Gore tells her, "Go back inside and allow me to soon." His wife praises him, stating how she waited for this day for so many years. He has suffered so much, endured horrors beyond imagining, and he is the only being that she has ever known worthy of worship. He is the brightest star in all of the heavens. He is Gore, her lover, her savior, and her God. Gore releases his grip on the youngest, and then he turns back asking, "What did you just say?" She explains that what she said was that he is. But before she could finish, Gore uses a tendril and stabs inside of her mouth, telling her, "I am no one's God." Moments later, Gore's son runs up asking if it's true. "Is it time to trigger the bomb?" Gore tells him, "Indeed it is, and if you could, go to the tower and look for your mother. I have many gods to kill." The boy smiles, "Yes, and of course, make sure to kill them all." But before leaving, he turns to see his mother's hand sticking out of the sand. As Gore walks to the entrance of the bomb, he says, "It took us 900 years to make this, and now it will explode throughout time, killing every god who has ever lived and ever will." He then takes Thor's hand and he slams it into the door, stating, "Amen." And a path opens. Gore drags the youngest, stating, "Only a few more drops in the pool of rose. Now bleed, God of thunder. Bleed for my blessed bomb." Down on the crack of the planet, the mighty Thor struggles to maintain his hold. And then he hears a voice talking to him. Thor's son tells him, "You will never make it." Thor is triggering the bomb as we speak. And Thor tells him, "You must run away. This is no place for the likes of you." The boy says that he cannot. He is what his father created. But the question now is, what is his father? He was a good man once, a family man, a loving man who suffers unfairly. But what would his younger self say of his older self now? Thor tells him, "You must leave now. Take whatever family you." The boy says, "My mother is dead. She always dreamed of a life after the bomb, but there is never going to be a life after. Gore is dead, and in his place is something that I have been raised to despise." Thor loses his grip and he falls back, and the boy catches him, stating, "I know not how to pray, but I will pray for you, God of Thunder. Pray that you will kill my father." At that moment, there's a rumble in the ground, and the cage of God flesh pops, freeing the hammers. Back inside of the God bomb, the youngest screams in pain, asking Gore, "If you want my heart so badly, I will gladly trade you for an eye." The youngest leaps up, sinking his teeth into Gore's eye socket, then he's thrown out of the bomb. Gore steps out shouting, "You are too late. You are all too damn late." Thor spits into the eye, stating, "That's one down. Now just to take the other." And then a battle cry from Attili can be heard. And Thor asks if she's holding Jornbill. He takes the axe from her, and Attili shouts to get his own, but he says he's sorry. This axe and him have unfinished business. With two hammers returning to the rightful owners, the two missing Thors come crashing down to the planet. With everyone distracted, a berserker kills the last god needed, but he pulls his heart out to finally begin the era of man. The youngest Thor fights outside while the older two fly into the god boss core to try to stop it. Once they get in, Thor tells them, "You are but too late. Behold your doom." The king rockets down to pin Thor, and Thor asks, "What do we do?" The bomb's triggered. King shouts, "You're a Thor! You hit it with a hammer!" And with the power of 2 hammers, Thor does just that! However, as he swings at the core, he thinks, just for a bit, what if Gore was right? What if a godless age is what man deserves? What if Gore isn't a madman at all? God help him. What if he is? The bomb goes off and its effects can be felt across all of time, killing each and every god in existence. And as the mighty Thor grips the 2 hammers, the darkness begins to go into him. Gore asks, "What are you doing?" And the king tells him that he is dying, like a god. All across time, the dying gods get to be one thing, a vision of a god with a mighty hammer in each hand, fighting at the heart of a bomb to save them. It was at that moment that every god in all of the universe closed his eyes, and he prayed for Thor. The king holds Gore back as Gore shouts, "He's absorbing it. He's taking the blast into himself. That is not possible." And the king laughs, "Ha ha 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 ha! Then we shall watch the impossible together." In only a few moments, the blast soon begins to fade, and all that's left is Thor, covered in darkness, holding 2 hammers. Thor tells Gore that this is no longer his weapon. It laughs at him. The name of it is the All Black, the Necrosword, the Slicer of Worlds, the Annihilator Blade, and it is meant to be wielded by a god. But you are right about one thing. It was meant to kill them. He takes the power of his 2 hammers and he releases their full devastating force into Gore. And as the smoke clears, Gore is left with nothing but his son. He calls out to him, and his son tells him that he can't blame the gods anymore. It wasn't the god who betrayed him, it was only ever yourself. The sun begins to drip into a black puddle, and Thor tells him, "Please, don't leave me alone." The mighty Thor asks, "How?" The boy, "He helped me defeat you." And the king tells him, "No, it was a lonely little man who helped him defeat the god Butcher." Thor screams out, and the youngest swings his axe, cutting off his head, stating, "Enough of that. Shall we drink mead and think of ways to defile his ashes?" However, that day was the day that Thor died. But a ninth time that could be remembered. And 3 days later he rose again. He woke up screaming, saying that it was so strange. There were 3 of them again. The king tells him, "The fear is dying. Hasn't made you any smarter, has it?" Thor asks, "What of the Necrosword?" The king says, "We left it. Dared not to touch it again." The youngest says, "I would have, if his majesty here hadn't thrown the whole damn planet into a black hole and then brought you back from the dead." The king says, "That's right. Burned out the last of Gore's sins. But I figured that it was in my best interest. So would you like to see what you died for?" The Thors walk outside, and King Thor says, "Asgard lives again. With the gods from all of the cosmos. So with the universe saved, the old king uses his all-father's magic to send his younger self back into the time. Soon, things return to normal. The youngest set out to become the Viking god once again, and the mighty Thor went back to being an avenger. And the old king sought to make memories with his granddaughters. However, due to the nature of time travel, they knew that their memories of their adventures would fade, and no one would remember this time. Back on the planet of Indigar, Thor returned to see the young girl who prayed but never received an answer. He told her that she prayed to him because she had no gods, and he can assure her now that she never needs to pray to him again. And the world without God became one with many gods. All thanks to a little girl's prayer and a madman's murder spree. Now, out in the deep reaches of space, Thor looks upon those that were easy enough to find. The dead worlds. Worlds that were once teeming with life but are now either burned or frozen, flooded or dry as a grave. Battles between the armies is something that Thor understands, but who do you fight when it's the world itself, killing its people? The Earth is dying, and the God of Thunder knows not who to smite in order to save it. Over in the Southern Ocean, Agent Rosalind Solomon investigates a recent disturbance with a herd of blue whales who seem to be running away from something. As she dives into the water, she finds the cause. The Yashida Industries underwater whaling fleet. Rosalind radios over one of the subs telling them that their presence in these waters are a violation of international law. So surface and prepare to be boarded. The sub doesn't respond by radio and instead fires 2 torpedoes at Rosalind's car. Next, a harpoon is shot into the car's windshield, and Rosalind quickly ejects before she can be trapped inside. Agent Coulson radios in telling her that backup will arrive in 3 minutes. But now, get to personnel. She may want to call it.
Welcome back.
Rosalind
I'm still
asks
drawing.
her boyfriend,
I'm still coloring.
He just came with me to the Shield Cadets Ball. We're not dating. And at that moment, Moltner shoots down into the water, destroying the 2 whaling subs. Rosalind says that she only sees a hammer. Where's the rest of him? And Coulson tells her 30 miles up and closing. Suddenly, there's a giant splash, and Thor grabs the hammer, bashing it into another sub, shouting, "Have at thee, foul Leviathan!" Coulson then radios back, stating that once they're finished down there's something that he'd like her to take a look at when she's topside. Later, in the Glacier Bay National Park of Alaska, CEO Roxanne Dario Agar holds a conference telling the new individuals that they are here today to show them something that can make the world a better place. Global warming has become an issue. The glaciers are all over the planet and melting away at an alarming rate. As Dario goes on, a helicopter flies over, lowering a large chunk of ice. And once it's set on the stand, Dario tells them that this is what they've been gathered here today to see. This big, blue, beautiful chunk of ice is the end of their problems. It was chiseled out of one of Jupiter's moons, and there is plenty more where that came from. As Dario goes to make a toast, Rosalind walks up telling him congratulations. He managed to make even a simple glass of water ostentatious. Dario tells the crowd to pardon him for a few moments, but please enjoy the water. He turns to Rosalind and he tells her that he's going to assume that she's Agent Rosalind Solomon from S.H.I.E.L.D., correct? Rosalind explains that they know about his ozone depletion project and the greenhouse gas satellites and the mobile factories that even that Latvian government is calling toxic. Now he's trying to profit off the effects of global warming by having a fancy space ice. Dario last stated that all they're trying to do is give the people up to date what they need to survive tomorrow. Roxxon is the world's wealthiest and most powerful supercorporation. If they don't know what's best for the people of this planet, dare he ask, who does? Just then, the people begin to hear a low rumbling thunder. And Thor appears with a giant ice ball and stating, "I heard the people of Midgard needed frozen water. Will this suffice?" The reporters in the crowd run over and they surround Thor, asking where he got the ice from. And he tells them just to consider it a generous donation from his old friends, who happen to be frost giants. Then Thor turns to Rosalind asking, "I brought you the largest mountain in all of Jotunheim. Might that finally be enough to win your company for the evening?" Rosalind tells him that now is probably not the time, and Dario steps down, stating, "What an unexpected pleasure. My name is Dario Agar, CEO of Roxxon Energy. It's so rare that someone in my line of work would get to shake hands with a relative equal." Thor turns to Rosalind and asks, "Is this the villain that you spoke of? The one who seeks to poison Midgard for financial gain?" Rosalind tells him, "Yeah, one of the biggest. Think of him as Dr. Doom of corporate scumbags. His nickname back in business school was the Minotaur." Dario says, "Let it be known. My company has never been convicted of any wrongdoing by any court in the world." Thor looks at Dario and says, "You, man of Roxxon, mark well my words. Anyone who threatens Midgard will come to know my hammer in ways that they will find most uncomfortable." A few moments later, back at Dario's floating factory, his advisor says that it cost them $478 billion. The ice pipeline project will have to be put on hold. And as a few of the other advisors begin to project the losses, Dario shouts them to get out. They value their lives. Get out. As he says this, his eyes begin to turn red and something in him begins to change and back on the ground. Rosalind says that there is one thing that Dario is right about, and that's that they can't touch him. His record is squeaky clean. If Roxxon gets caught breaking the law, they'll just pay to change the law. Thor tells her, "There's one thing that you have, that's me. And gods are not bound by laws of man. I have a few ideas, perhaps you would like to come to Asgard and discuss it over meat." Rosalind says that she has some forms and stuff to do. So how about they just get coffee tomorrow? Thor shouts, "Splendid! On the morrow it is. We shall drink coffee and decide what is best to save the world." But many millennia from now, King Thor sits on the once blue planet, thinking how it used to have such pretty shape. King Thor's granddaughter, Atli, says that it is certainly not very blue anymore, more like crap, actually. And Elisfa says that Atli can be quiet, and says that she is sure that Midgard was quite lovely in its day. Frigg then tells him that Elisfa is right. It's been gone for a very long time. Perhaps coming back here wasn't such a good idea. But King Thor stands up stating that he didn't come back here to feel sorry for himself. Some things are still worth fighting for. Frigg says that with all due respect, the Earth is gone. Its age has passed. Its fate was in a large part its own doing. Then there's a rumble, and as King Thor looks up, he says, "It would seem that I'm not the only old fool looking down at this planet." Galactus appears before the Thor and tells them one thing: hunger. Everyone looks up and Frigg says that Galactus has killed more worlds than anything in the history of the cosmos. She does hope that her grandfather knows what this means. And Atlee says, yeah, he should have brought his arm. So Thor says, that blasted thing weighs a ton, hurts my back. Frigg shouts, no. It means that it's time to let go of Midgard. There's nothing left of this world that you once loved. You cannot risk battling against a being as powerful as Galactus. King Thor whispers to his hammer, telling him, take my granddaughters back to Asgard and fetch me my arm. Frigg says, please don't do this, and King Thor tells him, it is already done. The thunder has spoken. King Thor throws Mjolnir with all of his strength, creating a portal, and it's sucking the girls up, and Frigg yells, you can't possibly hope to. And King Thor asks, whoever said that I was going to fight him? You can't fight Galactus with one arm and a hammer, but you can die. And that I could still do. King Thor makes his way down, calling out to Galactus that the King of Asgard would like to have words with thee. Back in the current times, Thor and Rosalind finish up their meeting at dinner, and Thor asks, so companies like Roxxon are humming the Earth as we speak, and Rosalind tells him that she's working on it, but this is the first time the S.H.I.E.L.D. has ever had an environmental task force, and against Roxxon, they're outmatched. Thor smiles, and Rosalind says that's the smile of someone who's about to get her in trouble, and he asks, how would you like to see how it feels to stand inside of a thundercloud? Later in the skies above South Africa, Thor asks if she's absolutely certain that there's no one inside. Rosalind tells him that she scanned it again. The whole place is automated. It's too toxic for anyone to set foot in. So he holds the hammer and
No way. Is that Alexa? Stop. That's another 50 minutes. Okay.
advisors explained that there was some sort of anomaly.
Guess I'll stop there a second, and we're nearly done. Very nearly done. Oh my god, it's taking me an hour and 38. So yeah, imagine how long it'll take me to digitize as well. But when I've got to pick the colours, I can pick all the colours and then swap them on. We'll see how that goes in a minute.
They won't stop eating until they are fat and dead. The plan is to drop them into the rivers in Canada to begin cultivating the salmon population. Soon, if anyone is to want salmon, they're going to have to buy it from the Roxxon hatchery. Also, there's this button. The hatch opens and fish pour onto the men, spelling certain doom for them. And Dario then opens up the cages for the bears, the ones that will eat those fish until they are engorged. And he shouts, all right, let's get brainstorming. Back in the future, King Thor climbs up a rock, stating, damn my beard! I should have flown up here before sending that blasted hammer away. Once he gets up there, he shouts at Galactus, telling him, I know that you can hear me! Stop being rude! Galactus tells him, you have good eye, all this weight for nothing. That is, unless you have come to watch your Earth die. King Thor tells him, I did not come here to fight. As you can see, I am unarmed. I have come to talk. Galactus turns his attention towards King Thor and he asks, why do you wish to defend this planet? And King Thor says, it's because it has saved me more times than I can count. And I haven't saved it nearly enough. Galactus goes back to his drill, stating, this planet has survived me more times than I can count. This wretched Earth, it imagines itself so precious, so supremely important. Look at it now. Look what man hath made of the meagerness he was given. All worlds must die. This they all know. And thus, Earth's time is up. Galactus continues digging into the Earth, and King Thor shouts, this is my last warning. Step away, and we will find another world for you to die on. I wish to do you no harm. Galactus tells him, your mind has gone soft. I am done showing you courtesy. You should have left me to eat in peace. Just then, Galactus holds out his hand, and a devastating blast shoots from his palm, knocking King Thor to the ground. King Thor pulls himself back up, stating, and you should have killed me when you had the chance. Up in the sky, the armor of the Destroyer and Mjolnir return to King Thor, and once they are set, King Thor shouts, for Midgard! But back in the current times, Dario punches out the last bear after eating the other advisors, telling the remaining advisors that, I like that idea. The advisor says that this place is called Broxton. The next morning, Roxxon trucks begin to make their way to the city. But once again, in the future, during the final hours of the planet Earth, King Thor and Galactus battle. As Galactus has King Thor in his grasp, the king swings Mjolnir, breaking one of Galactus' massive hands. King Thor laughs, stating, ha! Even the bones of giants can be broken. And I would know, I felled an entire race of them. Galactus then takes his other fist, slamming it down at King Thor with a force that literally punches him through the planet and into the moon. The moon cracks and it explodes, and King Thor says, "The bastard just punched me through the earth and broke the moon. I quite liked the moon." Back in the present day, over in Oklahoma, 3 weeks have passed since Thor returned to Midgard. He missed Broxton, and as he arrived,
Alexa, set me 50 minutes on the timer.
50 minutes. Starting now.
Thor flies down to see old buildings are gone, replaced with new Roxxon-owned businesses. And as he takes it all in, Rosalind shouts to him, stating that she's been trying to reach him for weeks. He really needs to get a cell phone. But before he goes and does something, just stop and listen for a second. Still not believing what he is seeing, Rosalind tells Thor that it started a few weeks ago when Roxxon got approval from the state senate to move their flying factories in. Thor begins to say,
Don't forget, guys, if you do like the picture, don't forget to leave a like or a thumbs up in today's stream, because that lets other people know that it may be something that they may want to watch as well.
Nursing homes closed, their water is now polluted. And they ask Thor, why is this happening? Thor grits his teeth and he rockets into the air. Up on Roxxon Island, the sounds of thunder can be heard. And the advisor asks if this was really a good idea. They have over $1 trillion of equipment here. Dario
So if everybody in chat could leave the thumbs up, that would be absolutely awesome.
And just as Dario thought, Thor comes crashing and destroying everything directly in front of him. As the armies begin to fire on him,
And if you think somebody else would be interested in a similar illustration, or if you are somebody that would like something made out of polymer clay, illustrated, or even made in VR, then don't forget to leave me a comment either in today's live stream, or you can go to the TikTok and Instagram. It is linked at the top there if you want to check out who I am. And let me know what you want done.
Goodwill towards you after the awkwardness of our previous encounter. Thor tells him, if it's money you want, I'll buy Broxton from you. There is enough gold in the vaults of Asgard to satisfy even the ordinary. Dario whispers, I don't want your money. At least not until you're on your knees begging me to take it. Thor holds out his hammer, telling him, I will pay. Whether it be in gold or Uru, the choice is yours. Dario then looks back to the men behind him, stating, we're done here, wouldn't you say? One man steps forward, telling him, yes, we've seen quite enough. And the man walks to Thor, telling him, Thor Odinson of Asgard, you've been served. Thor looks at the paper, asking, what is this? And Rosalind sighs, stating, oh, hell, that means they're suing you. The lawyer goes on stating that, you've never been sued before, so I'm going to explain.
You don't like it? Love it.
Also, a restraining order has been filed that will prohibit you from coming within 300 yards of any box office facility on the face of Earth. And that
I don't know what to do.
Thor's jaw drops. This Dario tells him, you can go back to fighting goblins and rescuing unicorns, whatever it is you do. But back in the future, the battle between King Thor rages throughout the galaxies. The more that they rage, the more the ground beneath their feet turns to dust. No matter who claims victory in the King Thor versus the Galactus battle, it would appear that the Earth is doomed. As Galactus' giant body falls to the ground, King Thor hurries over, telling him, yield! Yield, Thor! But King Thor's words trail off as he begins to see the skeletal remains of those that once lived on this lovely planet. Galactus tells him, you have failed the Earth before, as you can see. Failed to save those wretched humans from themselves. So tell me how it feels to see this. Tell me if it stings. Galactus then holds out his hand, releasing a blast so powerful that it can kill even the All-Father. And back in the present, Thor stands in the outskirts of Broxton with a sign that once said, neighbor to the gods, now reads, where gods fear to tread. As Thor tries to figure out a plan, Dario is continuing his own plans that involve Ulik, the king of the trolls. Though in the future, the destroyed planet would seem to have finally succumbed to Galactus' hunger. The skies crack with lightning, and Galactus asks if he's back for more already. Now that I have feasted, you will find that there is not a man alive who may stand before my might. The three granddaughters fly down, and Ellie says that it's a good thing that they aren't men. Frigg shouts, girls of thunder, take him down! The three waste no time in beating into Galactus, asking where is it that he said to their grandfather. He must also speak quickly before his tongue becomes a bed for their goats. Galactus asks, is that all you seek? Well, very well, little one. I will see to it that he will join Thor, whatever it is that he has died. Back in the past, a few more days go by, and Rosalind is no closer to finding a solution to stopping Roxxon than she was in the beginning. However, tonight she is investigating recent sinkhole appearances that appear to be mysteriously popping up all over Broxton. She flies down into one, and a boulder breaks, and it crashes down onto the flying car. Rosalind crawls out, stating, there goes another car. Coulson's going to kill me. And a voice tells her, not likely. Not unless he hurries. Rosalind looks up and says, you actually, the hell are you? Ulik tells her, we are trolls. What are you? Rosalind pulls out her gun, telling them that he's Agent Rosalind from S.H.I.E.L.D., and they're all under arrest. And Ulick laughs, stating, "Yes, I'm sure we are. Now use her quickly to save me a bye." With that, Rosalind loads a magazine into her gun and begins to let off into the trolls. Back in the future, the goddesses of thunder also continue their fight. Alisev is wielding the weapons of her great uncles, Vandel and Hogan. Frigg, feeling her coursing through her body, swings the hammer Stormbreaker, and Atlee uses the great axe Jarnbjorn. They are a match made in Valhalla, or hell. If there is one thing to note, though, it is that Galactus is not the least bit amused by their actions. He shouts at them, "You are nothing but insects with the might of the World Eater. Fly back to Asgard, little gogbugs." Frigg pulls back her arm, telling Galactus, "Be careful, for even the tiniest bug can cause a giant to choke." The hammer is thrown down Galactus' throat, and Frigg holds out her arm, and the hammer returns, ripping and blowing off Galactus' jaw. Atlee shouts that is enough. Let them kill this bastard already. And Galactus calls to them, "Many have tried, including your fool of a grandfather. Your withered bones will litter these cosmos from one edge to the other. All but Galactus still burns like a billion suns." But as Galactus begins to release his power, many light years away, the Allfather begins to wake up, asking, "Where am I?" Once Mjolnir appears before him, King Thor remembers what he is doing. He's saving Earth from Galactus. However, as he takes the strap of the hammer, King Thor flies in the opposite direction of where Earth is. In the present, Dario walks through Broxton, enjoying the recent progress that his company has made when he hears the roars of thunder. Dario walks over to Thor, stating, "You're making this almost too easy. You should have at least brought Daredevil with you as legal counsel." Thor tells him, "You may have lawyers, but I have a hammer. However, if it will end these people's suffering, then I, Thor, will beg this day. How much begging will it take for you to feel like a man?" Dario takes out a device and presses the button, telling him, "I wouldn't know. It's been a very long time since I felt like anything quite so simple as a man." Just then the floor begins to shake and the ground begins to fall into the sinkhole. Hands reach out and they begin to grab on the Thor, and he shouts, asking, "What devilry is this?" Dario begins to walk up in his Minotaur form, telling him, "Never mind. But please continue. I believe the begging was just about to start." Back in the future, King Thor finds what he was looking for, a black hole. At least, back then it was a mere black hole. Now it is something more dark. King Thor takes his hammer, and after spinning it, he goes through the darkness and begins to carve a path into it. He flies into the small opening to claim what was once thrown away, never to be touched again. All black, the Necro Sword, the blade that slew a billion gods, the black blade of Gore the Butcher, and the last hope for planet Earth. Back on Earth, the three sisters stand after another attack by Galactus, and Frigg shouts that they're about to die here on this chunk of rock once known as Midgard, and they will die for the Allfather. Alisev says, "I, for the grandfather Thor," and Atlee yells, "To hell with it, for blood and guts and glory, and also for Thor." Galactus stomps on the ground, asking, "Did I just hear that you're ready to die?" But before Galactus can land the finishing blow, lightning begins to strike, and Galactus asks, "How many times do I have to kill these Asgardians?" Alisev says, "He's back, isn't he?" And Frigg quietly asks, "What has their grandfather done?" The girls look up into the sky to see the All-Black, the All-Father, the God of Butchers, the Necro Thor, the Eater of World Eaters. As he comes racing down, he blasts straight into Galactus' torso. Meanwhile, back in the present day, one of the trolls holds Thor still as Ulick punches into his stomach. Thor manages to curse him, telling him, "You will rot in Nashron for this, if I allow you to survive the day." Ulick tells him, "A troll's home is wherever we can carve it, such as it always has been." And then he punches again. Dario calls out to Ulick, "That's enough. It's time to get down to business." Once he readies himself, he charges into Thor, knocking him into cars and anything else in his path. And from the smoke and debris, Dario walks out, dragging Thor, telling the trolls, "Earn your pay, pillage and destroy, murder at will, burn everything to the ground." Ulick shouts to the others, in other words, "Brothers, go be trolls." Thor struggles to pull himself up, telling Dario, "You're just another monster. Hired trolls to kill men, transformed into a beast with the strength of the Hulk. So that means..." Dario leans down, asking, "Yes, what does that mean, almighty God of Thunder?" And seconds later, the sound of a thunderous punch can be heard from all across as a body is shot into the air and onto Roxxon Island. Through the smoking body, Dario crashes back to the ground, and Thor tells him, "That means that I can finally do that." Now the final battle for the two Thors can finally begin as they both begin fighting for their very lives in order to protect the Earth. One in the present day, one in the future. The mighty Thor battling against all the odds to hold the trolls with Dario back. And the King Thor using the dark power that is the Necroblade to unleash a power never once seen. But as true as there is a King Thor in the future, the mighty Thor does prevail. And Dario is stopped for now. As Thor looks up to see his work, he weeps. Knowing where his tears fall, nothing will ever grow again until the end of time. The king, too, sits back to examine his work, finding it surprising that Thor, the king of Asgard, still draws breath and bleeds. But where those drops of God blood fell, the dead rock drinks it deep, and the earth has blood of its own again. The last day of Midgard, it would seem we'll have to wait until another tomorrow. In the wake of the destruction that once was the city of Broxton, a man tells the people how the sickness came, and his name was Asgard. Dario tells the nearest place, but perhaps it may be partly their fault as well. Trolls and ogres are a normal part of their lives, but it shouldn't be of theirs. So it is time for everyone to gather together to tell these Asgardians to go back to wherever it is that they came from. Days pass since Dario's speech, and She-Hulk Jennifer Walters walks out of the courtroom telling Brosnan that the injunction...
Do you want I don't know if you can actually hear me, but do you want a mirror there?
Rosalind tells her, thanks for letting her know. She's going to try and speak to Thor now. As she tries to get out of her third car, she asks if it's all right if she parks here. Heimdall tells her that her flying chariot will be safe in Asgard. She has his solemn bow. Rosalind says, okay, cool. Not sure if I should be tipping or something. And then she looks for Thor. Heimdall says that she must follow her ears. The rumbling will direct her where to go. Inside of the halls, more thunder can be heard, and the All-Mother begins to ask if the indoor thunder is really necessary. Thor sits up asking if they voted already, if there's still a chance for the fools to listen to reason. She tells him that there's a growing unrest in the Nine Realms, as he can already see. Meleketh and his Dark Elves continue to scheme from their swamps.
Yes, it would look great. Okay. Only reason I picked is because I'm like, what colour shall I use? Like, grey or shall I use bluish? And I might have to put a reflection in there as well of this, which I'll do with colour. So this is like a second.
She understands his pain. If there's one thing that she can part on him, it is that sometimes they must let go of the things that they love most. Later, as Rosalind finds Thor, he looks out into the world, stating that Roxxon is one. Dario is a murderous monster who consorts with trolls, and yet he walks free. The Congress of Worlds bent to his will, and it's been decided that Asgard must go. Rosalind says, wait, you're leaving her? What about Roxxon? And Thor tells her that the first time he came to lay eyes upon Midgard, people there still lived in caves and fought one another with sticks and stone. In those days, he only came to make war and revelry, to be worshipped in fear, above all else to destroy. His world and his people have changed so much since then, but has he? Down below, the people of Broxton try to clean up their broken town, and a little girl picks up her half-destroyed teddy bear. A glorious light then shines down. Thor, along with some of Asgard's finest, kneel before the people, telling them that they all know that it is a time of hardship. But they humbly ask to be favored. May they please be of assistance. As Thor and the others clean, Jane tells them they are here to bury buildings, not people today. Remember that. Thor says that these are more than just buildings. When he brought Asgard to this land, there was life, and now Asgard leaves and there is nothing. He did this, and he is not worthy of this world. Jane asks, you're not planning on leaving, right? And he tells her, no, I would never do that. I was hoping that you could. It is more important than ever that someone speak from Midgard and the Congress of Worlds, and I know not a finer candidate. She says it is quite an honor, but she's really not sure that she's qualified to. There's still the cancer treatments. Thor tells her that they have a rainbow bridge that can take her anywhere in the cosmos. And after some thought, she decides that maybe she should go. Meanwhile, across the way, Dario gets ready to leave. Before he gets into his car, Rosalind calls out to him, punching him in the face. The people hold her back, and she shouts that she just wanted him to know that this wasn't over. She will prove what he did here and nail his bull-headed butt to the wall for it. Dario's eyes glow red, and he tells her that she has his word, that he will sue her into oblivion for this assault. She storms off, telling him it's a great idea. Too bad he's murdered all of the lawyers. See you around. And so the time for the gods to leave Midgard comes, and Freya tells everyone, with their heavy hearts, they must leave. However, they must all know this. Lords and ladies of Broxton shall always have gods in their service. So swears Freya, the All-Mother. But rather than leave them with mere promises, please accept these gifts as a token of their eternal gratitude. Gold from the treasures of Asgard, enchanted fruit trees that will bloom for 1,000 years, and a fountain that will never run dry. May the light of the Bifrost shine forever in their skies. As the gods all walk back to Asgard, a little girl from before asks if they're really leaving. They didn't fix the town. Where will they go? That was their home. A voice then calls out, stating, aye, and may it always be. Thor flies down, placing a giant piece of stone down, and he tells everyone that he will not give back what they've lost. But this may serve as a small token of debt that was owed by Thor and the gods. The little girl looks up at the giant castle, and the little girl asks, she gets to live in that? And Thor tells her, if you so wish, yes. Rosalind asks Freya, did Thor just rip out a chunk of Asgard and give it away? Can he even do that? She smiles, stating that it is Bill Skirner, greatest of all the halls in Asgard. Rosalind says, okay, right, so whose castle was that? And Freya says that, who do you think it belonged to? It was Thor's. And so the gods of Asgard return once more to the heavens, though far less alone than when they arrived. Just as Earth itself will never be alone, so long as there is thunder in the sky. And back in the future, a new river has been forged, and Frigg asks, what shall they name this one? King Thor tells her, Ross. And Ashley says, Roz, Jane, Steve. What kind of names are those for rivers? They are the unforgettable kind. Now come, children. We have much work to do. We have an entire world to regrow. Elsewhere, though, on a planet once known as Mars, Galactus readies himself to feast on another dead world, one that King Thor has allowed him to have. As he digs into the planet's core, he says that if it wasn't for that damn black weapon, but at least now the weapon is destroyed. However, there is something beneath the planet's surface, something dark. And as the darkness overcomes Galactus, he laughs as hard as his hollow face can. For what has just been born was the Butcher of Worlds. And so begins the story for another day. And there you have it, the conclusion to the Thor God Butcher full storyline video. We're also going to be bringing you the female Thor storyline, which comes very shortly after this as a full story. And then we're going to be prepping into War of the Realms. So you got a lot of stuff coming here at Comic Story. So if you want more of this, please consider subscribing to our channel. And don't forget, we're also Twitch streamers. You can find us most nights at twitch.tv/eligible.
I think he's looking at. I'm considering he's standing at a different angle to have to put.
Hope to see you there.
I don't know. Could I put a bit of yellow behind that? Like a, I don't know. It's like depending. It's distance. If he was standing directly, I'm trying to go in, kind of like looking at that the way. So I'm gonna.
Thanos had a storyline a little while ago in which he was dying, and
Jet.
this is Thanos, the Mad Titan.
I don't care about Thanos right now, although I might listen to that in the future. Something I never actually drew was Thanos. Maybe I'll do that one time. Sometime in the far future. Right, sign. What colour should we have for the sign? What, 3? By the way, I know I spelled that wrong. Somebody pointed that out yesterday after I digged it. That's what I was thinking. Would you see him in the mirror? I don't think you would because of the way he's standing. Just trying to like keep a bit of shadow to it. Is all. Sign. Is that a blackboard, do you reckon? Yeah, I've gotten off the mirror effect. That was just something I was thinking about as I was doing it. Let's have a bit of yellow for his thingy bob here. Now, looks brilliant, and yes. Is that yes to the blackboard or yes to something else? Dark brown again. I just need bright, colourful colours for the writing. Let's try a bit of this. Yeah, I spelled dinks. Dinks instead of drinks, like a plank that I am. Oh, dinks. I'll fix that in post if I digitize it. Okay, do we leave it like that, or we put it in a blackboard? So I'll black it completely out. We can find, there it is. Let me know, buddy. Blackboard. And then we're done. There isn't any shading needed to put in because I did all that with pencil yesterday. Hopefully you like it. Hope you'll consider having it digitized. Like I said to you yesterday on WhatsApp, considering this picture, but I'll be getting on, if not tonight, because I've got Western Wednesdays, if it loads properly, to get on with. So going from one age-old bar to another, but I'll be riding horses and getting my butt whooped by gunslingers. If you want to join me tonight for watch some of that, I should be live. It'll be on the online mode. So if you're a fan of Western culture, not that's the wrong word. If you're a fan of Westerns, as the film, back in the old cowboy days, then you'll have a bit of fun while I get some more gaming done. As it's Wednesday, we always do Western Wednesdays on a Wednesday. It all really does depend whether the game will load, but I'll try and load it before starting the stream this time, because last time we had a bit of a problem loading it the whole night. I couldn't get it to load the whole night, and I was not happy. So what I'll do is I'll try and get loaded before, and if it doesn't load, then you know what I'll be doing. There we go. One finished picture. All done. Now we know what the Pineapple Man's going to be looking like. I'm going to actually take my hands away because there's loads of shadow. Yeah, so we've got the picture is completely finished now. Use my new Copic markers, which I think have worked really, really well to finish this picture off. I'll give you a zoom in a second, but we're all done. Pineapple Man, he's going to be made, if not tonight, then tomorrow, and then I'll bake them, and then I'll paint them. Mr. Pineapple Man, do you want me to make the Pineapple Man live for you, or do you want this, if not, I'll be uploading next week for some, I'll be uploading the edits from my creation of Blue Angel. Again, if you don't know who that is, I'll quickly give you a show. If you're watching back, guys. As you know, I did these two live. And I have edited and recorded it. So you guys just get to see what I did. Closer angles, better angles, better camera, things like that. Because I know this camera in this isn't the greatest. I'm moving around too much. Oh, you know what? I wish I didn't have so many things on my shelf, because every time I put something up, something else falls down. Right, stay there, you old shite. All right. Yeah, so do you want me to make them live for you or make it live for you? Because I've already made the other ones. Like, again, just a quick show you what I made out of those Roblox characters. They need to be painted, they need to be baked and then painted. But I have recorded one of them, so you get to see how I created one of them, and then you'll be able to do things like that. Maybe I'll edit it all into one thing, because like I've done this drawing and I'll edit your making of your Pineapple Man. But if you want me to do it live, I don't mind. But that will be next week if you want me to do it live for Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday like I have been, because Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are my art days. Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays are kind of like my days off to a degree, but I do Saturdays with some VR with Skyrim. If you haven't joined in there already, join me every Saturday for that, because I get through that game. I'm trying to get through the game to the end of the year, and that was my task that I set last just before New Year. No, just after New Year. I started playing the game, and I said in the chat, or I said on the stream, that I've been trying to finish the game, or at least finish the story in the year, and we're getting close, but we still need to level up. But like I said, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays are my art days. Thursdays are a random game. If not, then I'll be uploading some content for Mixer and going over there and playing some over there. Sorry, not Mixer. Well, it'd be either Mixer or Twitch. I'm kind of in between doing the both right now, because Mixer is shutting down, but Twitch still isn't. And then Friday, again, I definitely will be over on Mixer.com or Twitch playing some GTA. If you want to join me, you can do. All you've got to do is find my name. It's the same name, different place. Just take off the art and games. But yeah, if you want anything drawn, created, definitely let me know in the links that are in the chat today. That's TikTok and Instagram. Again, my name is Blut084, BLUT084. Let's give you a quick zoom in before we disappear on how and what it looks like. That camera's upside down. Let's give you a zoom in and what your character, because now we've got all the colors. Got all the colors in. Everything's looking like it should. And we're done. There we go. Hopefully you have liked it. Don't forget to leave a like if you do. Come back tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Well, I could finish out the week. Let me know over on Instagram, buddy. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Click the links that will appear. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Bye. 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 Bye.